if you've ever watched American Idol, the first couple shows of every season are inevitably about this person who's really excited. They're a wonderful singer. This is the chance that they've been waiting for a lifetime. And they go into the room in front of the judges and they start singing. And they're horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And, the judges will ask them after they performed how they think they did. It's like, oh yeah, I did really good. That was really fantastic. And the judges just shake their head and say, I don't see a career here for you. And it feels like it's easy to feel bad and also to laugh a little bit because, not only are they really bad, they don't know they're that bad.
It's sad. It's
really sad. And this is actually, there's some very good psychology here. There's something to learn from this.
Okay.
And I originally, I planned on calling this the American Idol effect, but I think that's a little mean.
Oh.
So this is a concept called excessive self-regard tendency.
Okay.
And that means that we tend to be overconfident about our ability to, our knowledge, our skills, our abilities.
Oh, yeah.
And we tend to overvalue our plans and our ideas over the ideas of other people. Mm-hmm. So even if their plans and ideas and feedback may be demonstratively, even to the point of scientifically better, we tend to overestimate our own skills, our own abilities.
Yeah.
And that can lead us into a lot of not so great situations.
Yeah, like I've read that something like 90% of people think they're in the top 10% of drivers, which just mathematically is impossible.
Doesn't work. The same thing as Garrison Keillor often talked about.
Oh, I love this.
The Lake Wobegon effect.
Right.
Of where all the children are above average.
Right. All the men are good looking, the women are strong.
And the children, are above average. And, it can't be true. It can't, but we think it's true. And, it's biologically, there are some very good reasons for this, that self-confidence is something that, we have to believe in our ability to actually do something in order for us to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. And so we actually err to the side of overconfidence because that actually gives us capabilities to try new things that we haven't done before. There's a great quote by Steve Wozniak, who's actually the guy who the engineering side of Apple, who started the company with Steve Jobs. He goes, I've never done any of this stuff before. I'd never built a computer. I'd never built a company. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was going to do it. Yeah. And so I did. And he did. And it was great. Nice. But excessive self-regard tendency, when it crosses the line into hubris.
Like American Idol.
It can actually lead you into situations where you may make some dumb decisions, frankly. If you're so confident in your idea that you take out 3 mortgages on your house and you raise $100 million in venture capital and you sell most of the company because this is going to be the next big industry, and it doesn't work, self-confidence, misplaced self-confidence can often lead you into situations that are probably better off avoided if you can. This is also related, and this is kind of a vicious cycle here. There's also a well-documented psychological tendency called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And the Dunning-Kruger effect is that the less we know about a particular topic or area or skill, the more competent we tend to think we are in that area. Okay, so if you really don't know anything about something, it's very easy to assume that, well, you know enough to be dangerous. Like, this is good. And then the more you learn, the more you realize that, man, I was really clueless. Right,
the more you see nuances and shades of gray.
You start to understand what you don't know and where your skills aren't. And that, it's sometimes it's called, you start being unconsciously incompetent. Like, you're incompetent, but you don't know it yet. And then you're consciously incompetent. You're like, oh man, I'm really bad at this. And then you transition, as the more you practice and the more you learn, you transition into a period of conscious competence of, I finally figured out, I'm conscious of what's important. I know what is I'm doing. And then sometimes that's called metacognition, of you're able to think about what you're doing and consciously self-correct.
Cool.
And but a lot of times the people who are consciously competent are the ones who are consciously questioning whether or not they're competent.
Right.
That's actually a huge, if you're questioning whether you're competent, that's a good signal that you're probably more competent than you may think you are. So it's like our brain plays funny tricks on us. But this is one of the things where having an outside perspective or outside help is really, really, really important, particularly if you're starting something new that you've never done before. There's a wonderful quote from Benjamin Franklin that says, "He that won't be counseled can't be helped." And it's true. If you've never done something before, it's very easy to cross the line from self-confidence into hubris and make a lot of decisions that end up not being good ones.
Yeah.
And so, excessive self-regard tendency is extremely important. And, have outside counselors or outside people who can help shine the light on areas where you may not be strong in. And, raise your level of confidence or competence before you, get into a situation that you can't get yourself out of. That is excessive self-regard tendency.